Hi everyone, how are you doing? This is the Erasmataz here. I'm bringing you a slightly extended version of the Offside call today because I actually do have quite a bit to say, so bear with me. Well, one thing that my mother pointed out to me recently was that she says I never mentioned my real name. Apart from the first episodes that I did, I haven't been mentioning my real name. So for those of you who don't know, my real name is William Alexander Coleman, and I'm known to my friends as Erasmataz. That's how come I use this name for my show, the Erasmataz show. But this is the Offside call anyway. Um, yeah. Now to start with, yesterday I spotted post on LinkedIn by the Olympic organizing committee for the Paris 2024 games, and it was a countdown to the games, and I think it was 1,000 days to the start of the Paris 2024 Summer Games. That means that as it stands now, we have 999 days left. So I would just want to ask African countries, what are we doing? Are we being deliberate about being competitive and actually winning medals for our various countries? Or are we going to leave that to the Ethiopians, Kenyans, and South Africans to win medals in track and field and swimming for us again? The clock is ticking, guys. We have 999 days. So I'll be back on this topic later because it's very important to me. I want us to be competitive and start winning medals for our different countries. But today, what I really want to talk about is stadium advertising. I attended the season opener of the Ghana Premier League on Friday between Accra Lions and Elmina Sharks. And one thing, like before the game started, the thing that caught my attention was the advertising. And I guess this time I was quite impressed with the visibility of it. But what I don't understand is why in 2021 we don't have LED perimeter advertising in our various stadia, especially Accra, Kumasi, and the other major stadia we have, Cape Coast, Tamale, especially now that RTU is back. I don't understand why we still use like wooden boards for our advertising panels. Anyway, that's why I'm here today. So get your calculators out and do the math with me. Now, I did some research at the end of last year, like around December there, about the possibility of getting LED advertising at the Accra Sports Stadium for obvious reasons. So I want to use Accra Sports Stadium to make the case for LED perimeter advertising. Now, it could be an important and sustainable source of revenue for clubs, especially if they decide to invest in it, or whoever decides to invest in it. It could be the sports ministry, it could be the NSA, it could be the GFA, it could be football clubs who use the facilities, whether Accra, Kumasi, Tamale, wherever, or even advertising companies, or even Star Times themselves, as they are the broadcasters of the Premier League and the FA Cup. Now, whoever takes the initiative in investing in this system would be like the first mover. And if it's a club especially, it will earn them bragging rights as well. Once again, if it's a club, it provides a new source of revenue for the club. And it could be a very good one. I'll get to that. Then it gives the advertisers more visibility and much better value for money. And it also improves the aesthetics and gives the clubs and the league added value as well. And lastly, it could actually even be used as a tool for fan engagement, especially now that fans are allowed back into the stadium. So I think this is something that we should take a bit seriously and consider as like going forward, because I mean, we're in 2021. We shouldn't be using wooden panels for our adverts in stadiums. So I did some inquiring when I was doing my research and writing a proposal for people. So manufacturers in China, and this is what I got. So now, once again, like I said, I'm using the Accra Sports Stadium for the dimensions over there, which is 110 meters by 73 meters. It would mean that we would have to get approximately 256 meters of LED paneling to form a U around the pitch. Now, it doesn't just come with the LED panels. There's a whole lot of components that come attached to it, like a computer, a power supply, and waterproof cabinets made out of aluminium, among other things. And then, of course, you need spare parts, like the LED chips and other things in case something spoils while it's in operation. Then a down payment of 50% would be required, and it would take about 15 to 20 days to produce. So these are some of the things that would need to be considered. Then, in order to ship it, it needs a shipping space of 140-foot container. So it's not a small consignment that we are expecting, like if you are to do it for just one venue. Um, Now, shipping would cost between 7,100 and 8,600 US dollars to ship from Shenzhen in China to Tema. So that's another cost to consider. Now let's look at the value chain. So the equipment costs, after inquiring from these companies, comes down to about 159,000 US dollars. Then shipping and handling, as I mentioned earlier, would cost, let's say, about $9,000. Customs and taxes when you get to Ghana, yes, quite expensive, but it has to be paid for. About 59,000 US dollars as well. Then transportation to the stadium should cost about $1,000, the equivalent in the Ghana city equivalent, obviously. And installation would probably cost about $2,000. So if you add all these up, we are looking at an initial cash outlay of about 230,000 US dollars. So now I'd like to make a case for investing in LED advertising. So last season, almost every game played at the Accra Sports Stadium was shown live on Star Times. Okay, if not all of them, at least a large proportion of them, if nothing at all. There was a point where Kotoko was playing their home games at the Accra Sports Stadium, and obviously Accra Hearts of Oak played their home games at the Accra Sports Stadium as well. So that means that for these two teams, wherever they played, every single game of theirs was shown. So that means that every home game of Accra Hearts of Oak, at the very least, was shown live on TV. So that was the Accra Sports Stadium. That was 17 games from the Accra Sports Stadium. I expect pretty much the same to happen this season. And now Asante Kotoko will be playing at their regular home in Kumasi as well. So I guess that means that Kumasi too will have at least 17 live Kumasi Asante Kotoko home games being shown live on TV. That's a whole lot of eyeballs. As of December last year, for Hearts and Kotoko games, there was an average of about 40,000 spectators watching on mobile devices alone each game. At the time, I was not able to confirm how many viewers watched on television, but it's definitely more than those who watched on mobile devices. So now, here's the interesting thing. So StarTimes doesn't show ads during GPL games. So for my calculations, I used comparable TV stations like City TV. So City TV, for a 60-second commercial on City TV, as at December last year, they were charging between 900 cedis and 1,485 cedis. For a 15-second logo display, they were charging between 270 cedis and 342 cedis. Then there's UTV. So with UTV, for a 60-second commercial, they were charging between 1,225 cedis and 1,770 Ghana cedis. For a 15-second logo display, they were charging between 296 cedis and 385 cedis. Then there's TV3, the largest free-to-air platform we have, private free-to-air platform that we have. And that's for their 60-second commercials, they were charging between 2,300 cedis and 3,459 Ghana cedis. For a 15-second logo display, they were charging between 423 cedis and 632 cedis. All right, so now let's assume that you invest in the system and use it for only Accra Hearts of Oak home games. That is 17 games in the season. So using the figures that I just mentioned, that is a potential gross of between 1,224,000 cedis and 5,202,000 cedis. If you charge it like pretty much like how the TV stations I just mentioned charge theirs, and that is just from Accra Hearts of Oak home games alone. So imagine if you are able to invest in it and use it for other games, which will be shown on television live. And it is not necessarily even only for live games that are shown live, but we'll get to that. Let's just assume that you're just using it for 17 home games for one club, whether it is Kumasi Asante Kotoko in Kumasi or Accra Hearts of Oak in Accra. Yeah. Obviously, if it isn't the clubs themselves that are taking this on and somebody's investing in it, maybe an advertising company, for instance, you have to understand that there has to be some kind of revenue sharing agreement with the clubs whose games you're using to advertise and be making money. So, or the stadium owners. I won't forget that, because I'm sure there's a whole lot of things that go into it. You can't just get up and go and put your advertising system there and take all the money and leave. Then there are other opportunities for extra revenue. For instance, like if you are a club or if you're an organization, you can actually rent the system out to the clubs, or if you're a club, you can rent the system out to other clubs that use the same stadium. So for instance, if let's say in Accra Great Olympics decides to invest in this, it could rent the system out to Accra Lions because they also use the same facility and come to some kind of agreement. So, and it gives Accra Lions the opportunity to make some money as well. So I think this is a good system that if we bring to our league, we bring to the country, a lot of people can benefit from, and at the end of the day, we all want to grow together. So, and I guess that there shouldn't be there shouldn't be a shortage of potential clients either. There's a whole lot of people who could be approached to advertise. I mean, if you look at games around the world where they have LED advertising, people advertise, and I mean, I guess they don't do it for nothing. There's good returns on it. So potential advertisers, please hear us out. Like for instance, the sponsors of the various clubs that play in the stadiums. For instance, last season, I remember Inter Allies were sponsored by Tampico, and there were a lot of Tampico advertising boards. So if Inter Allies were still in the Premier League, still using the Accra Sports Stadium like this, Tampico could be a potential sponsor. With Accra Hearts of Oak, we know their sponsors, SAS Group, Sunon Asogli, Next Level, and others. Kumasi 2, Kotoko, Hisense, and all the other sponsors are potential clients for the system. Then there are the known sports sponsors, like the betting companies, the various betting companies who are always haggling for space, advertising space, especially when it comes to sports. Then of course you have the biggest advertisers in Ghana, the banks, the telcos, and companies like Nestle as well. Anyway, but yeah, so I guess that this really should be doable. So in conclusion, the truth of the matter is I have been wanting to do this myself ever since I came back from doing my studies in Spain. But unfortunately, I do not have $200,000 to spare. If I had it, I would have done it, no doubt. But unfortunately, I don't even have 1/6 of it, which is 200,000 Ghana cedis to begin with. I've spoken to politicians about it. I've spoken to businessmen about it, but they were dragging their feet. You know, they thought that maybe, they wouldn't get NSA approval, and maybe they didn't really see the numbers. Well, I don't know. Then I've proposed this to clubs as well, but no word. Yeah, I can understand that $230,000 is a lot of money, but I guess that in a case like this, especially when it comes to football clubs, maybe if one club can't afford it, the various clubs that share stadia, for instance, they could come together and work some revenue sharing agreement out, because it has a whole lot of advantages, like I have enumerated earlier. So yeah, I decided to put this out in the open, maybe to pique someone's interest. If you have $230,000, hey, go for it. Let's do this, because it's good for our image more than anything else. I think. Then also there are other ways of advertising in stadiums, but I won't get into that today. This is just a quick episode to highlight LED advertising, but I guess in subsequent episodes I'll discuss other ways of advertising in the stadiums as well. And another thing, this info that I've put out is largely based on research that I did at the tail end of last year. I'm sure it's possible that the prices are largely the same, or they may have moved, or they may have shifted upwards slightly. So I'll be doing an update, and if anybody's interested, just give me a shout, and I'll forward it to you once I'm done with that. As always, I'll be putting links to my socials in the description below. So if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me through there. And once again, if you like the video, please please share. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And I'll be seeing you guys real soon. Thanks a lot for supporting me. By the way, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I get words of encouragement. I get people calling me, telling me to keep going, and I really appreciate it. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll be seeing you guys very soon. This was the Erasmus. Peace.